Legit. Legit, folks. Welcome to the show. Do, 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 do. Do, do. Do, 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 do.
I'm trying to get the Instagram going again. And oh, there it is. Nice.
So it's working over here.
We're going.
Do, do. Do, 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 do.
What are you singing? Is this our new theme song?
It's the theme song, right?
You're doing a remix.
Yeah, I think we should make a new version of the theme song for the YouTube show. Do we change the song entirely, or do I just make like an updated version of it?
I think you make an updated version.
Okay.
It's a great theme song.
Heard. It is the best theme song of all the other.
A lot of podcasts have terrible theme songs.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're all like very self-absorbed, like, this is our show theme song. This is our show.
They have like some license-free, like canned music that sucks. I mean, we have a legitimate composer here.
Yeah, and it's a legitimate song. I mean, I used to drop that song in my M80 dub station DJ sets back in the day, and people would go nuts. Like, that was a good song.
You guys got to bust that out one day in a Biscuits set.
I think the Biscuits would crush that song.
Jam into it, like in the middle of some like big deep jam.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. We did debut a new song for us this past week.
Yeah,
it seems like
we'll talk about it.
The slots for debuting and for the Biscuits is tough. It's tough to get a slot nowadays.
Yeah. You got to fight for a position in the rotation.
Yeah, you really do. It's like we're an SNL at this point, where like you have to like pitch your skit to the people and then like push it through to get it on stage. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah. Got like Will Ferrell trying to like sabotage your shit, rolling his eyes during the read the read through. What do they call it? They all sit around the table and they read the scripts.
Yeah, the live read or whatever, script read. Yeah.
Well, it's 6 o'clock. Should we make this official?
Yeah, let's pop off.
We're mass communicate. Mass communicate.
We're in, folks.
Picture it. There's some sort of animation going on.
Yeah. Welcome.
Explosions, quasars.
Touchdowns All Day YouTube extravaganza.
Yes, welcome back. Touchdowns All Day Live.
Here we are.
June 9th, 2025. And this is very special because Barber is joining us from the road. Where are you right now?
Hi, as you can see behind me, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
It's not one of those virtual backgrounds?
No, that would be this. That's me having the same background as you.
John's in my house.
That's where I am now, which I think would be cool, but I think that I have a nice skyline view of Raleigh here. It's pretty cool. And the darker it gets, I think the more we'll be able to see it.
So, John, how are you feeling? You are 4 shows into your big summer tour. What's the word? What's the report?
We're consistent. We're back. We left the road, took a little time off, made a human exist, and then now we're right back on the road. We're right back where we picked off. We're dropping songs we haven't played in a long time. World is Spinning. We're playing a bunch of a new song called Tantalize, which is from Mark's other band. We do our own version of it, and I feel like we're back at all cylinders. The tones are great, sounds are great, the jams are excessively long. It's good. Asheville was a great way to start the tour. I mean, I just love Asheville. I don't know what to say. I love it there. I love the people, the hotel. I love the food. I love the crowd was exceptional. It was double exceptional. It was raining the whole time.
Yes, and we'll get to all the shows. But before we do, John, how was it being back in Asheville after the big disaster that they experienced last fall? I mean, you guys had some shows there that were canceled. People there have been through the ringer. I'm sure 2 nights of the Biscuits was just what the doctor ordered for them.
I mean, I'll tell you the truth. It was weird. It's super weird. I mean, there's giant like corporate buildings were like a strip mall or something like that, completely filled with plywood and like not really worked on. And it must have been awful. I don't know. It looks like it was very heavily destroyed still. And there was people up. I mean, we were hopping around. I went to a bunch of restaurants and they were all really good. The food was good. So it seems like a lot of areas are not affected in that kind of extreme way. However, the places that were affected, whew, they have gotten crushed, seriously crushed.
Yeah. No, I'm living a version of that here post fires. So they just reopened PCH. They just reopened Topanga Canyon. And so I'm driving down and, you know, life has gotten kind of back to normal. And then you go around a corner and there's like a burned out car, and where a house was, there's just like some steel girders and like ash everywhere and trees completely charred. So, you know, life can catch up with you. It's real. And so it's important that we celebrate these moments that we have to come together, to listen to music in the rain, to throw down with our friends, and hear good biscuits jams. So John, this episode was supposed to be the Andy Frasco episode, but
right.
Southwest Airlines happened. Do you want to fill everyone in on where Andy Frasco is and some of the big billings that he, in addition to touchdowns all day, that he had to cancel today?
Well, we're going to put up a site similar to the Santa Tracker website that people use to track Santa, and it's going to track wherever Frasco is in the sky right now. Could be anywhere. He could be on any number of planes. I think he had a direct flight to LA and that didn't happen. And then he ended up going to some other place and then his layover in some other place. So I don't think we're going to hear from him tonight. I really don't. I feel bad asking him.
Yes. So Frasco, unfortunately, is like in a airport terminal somewhere between Colorado and here. It's like hour 18. He had to cancel an appearance on the Bert Kreischer podcast.
That's right.
I mean, not as big as Touchdowns All Day Live, but it's okay.
If you like jokes about being fat, you know, that's the podcast for you, dude.
And we are a pro Manjaro podcast here. We've already established there's no excuse. You could take research chemicals and just lose all the weight. So,
well, I'm in a phase right now where I think I would be a good candidate for the Bert Kreischer podcast. I think it would maybe get me in the gym. I think an hour with Bert would really increase the amount of gym time that I spend on the tour. I look forward to that.
Well, Bert, we're here. We're waiting for the call. Frasco is blowing up. I'm really disappointed we don't get to talk to him. We'll find a time to bring him on. People think of Frasco as being this sort of like ridiculous party figure, but the guy is connected to every jam band, every comedian, every podcaster. He's blowing up and he is a great entertainer. His new album is really, really surprisingly good and diverse. He did it in Nashville with like top session players. Billy Strings and Mike Gordon are on one track.
I like that track.
How did I like the question I'm going to ask Frasco is like, how did he happen? Where did he come from? Like, what is the story of how this guy, this like floppy haired Muppet, has become the most connected man in music and comedy?
He has a killer podcast, that's for sure. And I don't know. It's a good question. I can't wait to. I mean, he'll be on next week. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna like big time us and not come on our exceptionally good scene podcast that week.
He better not.
He better not.
We will. We'll trash him and we'll steal Nick Gerlach too. So John, a little recap from last week, because I know a lot of folks here joined us for the Microsoft Teams extravaganza where you spun the wheel of forgotten songs. And
that's true. That's very true.
And right after the episode aired, a couple people reached out to me. They're like, hey, I wanted to go watch. I wanted to see John talk about some of those old forgotten tunes, but the episode's not on YouTube. So John, here's what happened.
What happened?
We received a copyright violation notice from
our first one. Yay, you broke your cherry. Yay.
From the Grateful Dead for playing the forgotten Hell in a Bucket video with the duck. You would think that, oh, well, here it is. Actually, I was going to say, you would think they would like us drawing a little attention to this video. Perhaps quite the opposite. They want people to forget it exists.
I think that's what it is. I think that's the people. They never want anyone to see that video again. And I think it's a great video. I loved watching it.
We all loved the video. But apparently they did not love our riffing on it. I appealed. We're currently on probation and they are evaluating our claim. I made a big statement about fair use and copyright and all that stuff. They've got 30 days to respond, after which we will be summarily executed at GD60 during the set break in Golden Gate Park. They're erecting gallows. It's going to be really nice. They're going to do like a little light show around it, but hopefully we don't break any more rules today. We're just going to violate the copyright of the Disco Biscuits by playing some of your songs. I don't know. Will Mark sue us if we play Tantalize? That's an Electron song. Is that?
Probably. I would if I was him. I don't know. You never know. You never know. I'd like to hear it. I haven't gotten a chance to hear it yet.
Tantalize?
So, I've not heard it yet. I made it through Atlanta. There's a lot of changes for me in the new setup. So I have to listen to everything now. So, I have to make sure I start at the beginning of the tour and go through the whole thing. So I haven't really caught that far in yet, but I'll get there in 2 days.
So 2 episodes back, we did the Ask Barber Anything. That one dropped today in the podcast feed, the audio only version. But so John, it was perfect timing because everyone over the weekend was like, what's going on with John's guitar? He sounds great. And I was like, we talked about this. So I keep forgetting, what is the name of the new modeler that's now running into the Helix?
So I'm converting with this device called a fractal, which I just think it's just a beautifully warm and great converter. And it has a great foot pedal system. So I'm operating these foot pedals. I'm able to get around. I can get from one patch to another really quick. If you guys listen to the shows, you hear a lot of new synth sounds that I get with this system. And then my Helix unit is digital. It's in a digital loop inside of it, which is super fancy. And I had to talk to ChatGPT for an hour to figure out how to do that. And then, and so the Helix is still there and it still operates as it normally would, but it has this kind of enclosing layer, which just, I think, takes the tone up a whole nother notch. I mean, it just sounds great to me.
Well, we're going to play a lot of the hottest jams from the past weekend. We've selected them based on listener feedback. There have been a lot of threads, a lot of reviews, all on the internet, and we've picked out some of our favorite jams from the first 4 shows of the run. And Barbara, maybe while we're listening back, if you hear moments where the fractal is coming into play, point them out so that for those of us who aren't musically oriented, we can hear exactly what it's doing.
Great.
Before we get into it, I had a really fun weekend with some of your old classmates. I had
what happened?
I had Aaron Trooper McKeon was out for the weekend, staying with us.
Stayed with you.
Stayed with me, and Kevin came over for dinner. And the two of them hadn't seen each other in 20 plus years. So there was a lot of catching up to do and a lot of stories. And the funny thing that, first of all, the story of the shitty couch in the back of Mark's panel van. Everyone has stories about that. So Trooper told me the definitive version of the origin of the song Trooper. And don't worry, guys, we're going to have Aaron on to tell that story on the air. But lo and behold, it involves the same van that you took up to Nectar's with the couch in the back seat.
Yeah, it's gross. It was gross.
A legendary vehicle.
It was a big couch too. It was like a comfy large. It's not a bad way to do seating in a car. It's just not attached to anything.
Yeah. So every time you go around a corner, the couch is sliding around.
A little bit. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't all the time. It was some of the time.
And then the other story is that she had was that she, like Kevin, they both met Mark the first day they moved into their dorms. He unexpectedly, unannounced, uninvited, just busted into their dorm rooms to sell them weed. So
Mark did?
Mark Brownstein, yes.
I mean, sometimes you got to unload a quarter. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to get rid of one more so you can go home and smoke the free part. You know what I mean?
Well,
I get that.
Created lifelong friendships, created the band, created all this that we talk about here on Touchdowns All Day just by his own persistent entrepreneurial salesmanship. So thank you, Mark, for just busting in Trooper's door, Kevin's door, and for making all this happen, for making you go up to Nectar's. I think Mark, his indomitable personality we have so much to be grateful for.
He can barge.
He's
He
a
can
good
barge.
barger.
Yeah, he knows how to barge. He can pull that off.
Speaking of Kevin, John, Kevin's book, Mount Forgotten, pre-orders are now live. And I wanted to thank all of you, and there are a number of you who have pre-ordered on Amazon as a part of our Touchdowns All Day Mount Forgotten promotion.
Yeah, nice job, everybody. Thank you so much. That was really great.
So here's what you do, guys. The contest is still open. You pre-order Kevin Abrams' book on Amazon or wherever you get your books. If you've got a local bookseller, even better.
That's right.
You take a screenshot of your receipt, you send it in to us via Instagram, via whatever, and we will enter you in a drawing for 2 tickets to the Disco Biscuits concert of your choice. We're going to let that concert run until the book's official release date, which I believe is the 15th. So you've still got at least another week to pre-order Kevin's book. Great book, great Father's Day present, just great summer read. And you might get some tickets out of the deal.
Oh, and we're gonna pick a winner out of the current group. So we're basically restarting the contest from scratch, starting at midnight, starting right now. So
even better.
Yeah, so we already have a bunch of people who posted, so we're gonna pick a group, one of them, to win the first set of tickets.
I didn't realize we had that many tickets to give away, but I should have. You could kind of just keep making tickets, right?
Yeah, I think so. And let's not get into the details. You'll get your tickets. We'll figure out a way.
So, yes. So please check out Mount Forgotten by Kevin Abrams and get us your receipt to be eligible to win. John, I think I hear the doorbell.
Ding dong.
That's not the doorbell.
Ding dong.
Can people hear that? I can't hear that.
Ding dong.
Oh, there it is.
Can't hear that.
Look who it is. It's Coach Joey.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
So when we lost our guest, Andy Frasco, we thought, who's going to be available in the pinch? Who is just itching to share his insight on the first weekend of tour? I know, Joey, it must have been tough for you not to be there in person, but you and I were texting during the shows, and I know you were as excited as I was for the band to be back and to come back in such a big way.
Yeah, first weekend back after a couple months off. First weekend back after a couple months off. No coach on the road. You just want them to go out and hopefully take the tools that I've given them and use them for themselves and put out great music. And they did just that. I thought there were some magical spots in every show. I know I posted online about the 42 from night one, the Wormhole. I just listened to the Dribble Freeze Doorbell Buddha over when I was playing 9 holes of golf before the podcast. And I thought it was really great. I thought, it seems like the band introduced a lot of new sounds this tour, which I thought were really cool. Some fresh new sounds. And I'm sorry to disappoint everybody that wanted Andy Frasco to be here. Andy Frasco and I have very different goals when we come onto this thing. He's trying to get the band to do punches, and I'm trying to get the band not to do punches. And so, different goals, but hopefully we're both good looking guys, and we think of ourselves as funny people. So
let me ask you a question. When you're golfing and you're listening to the Biscuits, are you golfing alone? Is that a solo golf?
Yeah, when I'm listening to the Biscuits, if I were golfing with somebody else, I wouldn't be listening to music. I just went out for like a quick afternoon post-work 9 by myself. And I play a lot of golf by myself, and I usually listen to the Biscuits. It's like one of the times when I get to listen to the Biscuits. And to act more actively, there's time between shots. A lot of times when I'm listening to the Biscuits, it's not as like engaged. I can't be as engaged as I'd like to be to really take in what's going on. But on the golf course, I can get a pretty good sense of what's going on with the music.
Do you think you shoot better when the Biscuits are playing, or do you think like
I never shoot good? I never shoot good. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what you're listening to.
I was trying to explain to somebody, it's like I have absolutely no control over what happens out there, right? Like I may hit the ball good, I may hit the ball bad. I think I do the same thing every time. No control. The more I think about it, the worse I do. So at least the biscuits keep me from like losing my mind.
It's somewhat productive at that point, right? Isn't that the problem with golf, is that it's just not productive at all for everybody who plays golf? And
Yeah, it takes a ton of time. It costs a lot of money. It stresses you out. Like you need a vacation after your round of golf.
that's right.
Guys, like, I don't have a wife, but I'm sure there's like a long litany of men in history who have like beat their wives after a bad round of golf or something like that. It's like, uh, I don't know. Is that a
Okay.
bad joke? Can you make that joke? Is that what, fall flat?
I mean,
Filling in for Andy Frasco with the off-color humor.
seriously.
Well, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it was a good thing.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no, of
saying,
course.
like,
We know where you're coming from. It's a very frustrated game. And John is very anti-golf. If you recall, when John was
I'm
having
not
his,
anti-golf.
when you
I
were
don't
having your
wanna,
bachelor party, it
I
was
don't
like,
want to go on
no
vacation
golf.
with people who are golfing. I don't want to go on vacation with a group of people and half of them disappear for half the day and you don't see them. And then when they come back and tell you what they did, it's like because of a putt that they made or
They're
didn't
very
make.
angry.
Yeah, it's like they're up and down. It's like 6 hours. They look like dorks when they leave the house in their little like striped thing with the cloggy shoes. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to try to decode Bebop Jones's message. You all need
Peloton.
I think that's a Peloton mix. John, are you still riding the Peloton? Is that?
I mean, I don't know. I did not bring the Switch on tour because I lost it. So yeah, I don't know. I look. I don't know. I'll do. I've been listening to Biscuits when I work out. Is what I do. I get on the
Yeah.
Peloton or the Tready and I put on some Biscuits and I go for a little bit. And then it is what it is. But we don't have a lot. I haven't had a lot of time on this tour because we have a tractor beam show in 2 days. And it's every time we do a tractor beam show, it's a totally different show. And it's just like so much to prepare for because it's like, okay, every single thing is brand new pretty much. So
Yeah. So
a
how are
lot.
preparations for Tractor Beam going?
Great. We did a huge session today. And yeah, it was really good. I really like the songs that were put together. A real team effort. A lot of people putting in different song ideas. And I just feel like I have new synths to play in the tractor beam set, so I'm like excited about that. And I just we're the only band playing in our time slot, I think. So we're gonna have the whole festival.
At
And
Bonnaroo?
yeah, I think so. I'm not sure because I'm
I
not
thought
smart enough
that
to
you
read
were
a
up
schedule.
against Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think they end. No, I don't think it's up. I don't think they're up against them, right? I think they're not fully overlapping.
They might be
Oh,
done
okay.
when we're done, but like I just gotta imagine that most people. I think you have to have like that insane clown posse thing to go to that show.
Yeah.
The like goth plus middle America thing plus soda, whatever their mixture is.
Yes, a little bit of Fago. So John, first weekend of tour, and after one of the longer breaks you guys have taken recently, I can't remember the last time you were off the road for this long,
Mhm.
2 straight months. Did you guys feel like you needed to shake off the rust or anything like that? Because it certainly didn't sound like it when you came out in Atlanta.
I thought we did a little bit. Yeah, I thought it was a little bit different of a day compared to what I was doing before, which was very home, you know. But we did a lot of rehearsal and practice and stuff like that, setting up for the tour, and I think we're all pretty much ready to go. So I don't think it sounded that way to the audience, but you always feel that way. I'm always like nervous for a show of tour.
Yeah.
It's like
I
I
don't
forgot how to
know.
do it.
I don't know, and maybe they do, but I don't know if like the average fan really knows how many steps that go into a show day are, and then like you take into the fact that it's the first show day after being off. I mean, there it is. There's load in. There's the band has to be there. There's practice. There's VIP. There's you got people coming in and out. You got all sorts of different things to deal with, equipment things, newest sounds, new equipment. and it's just it's somebody who's witnessed them do it. I think you get a whole new appreciation for what it takes to go, and then just the energy, right? I think that's everybody. I know me. Some days I have off days, some days I have on days. But the band's got to go out there and they've got to play night in, night out, and it takes a lot of energy to put that on stage, especially after 3 months off. So I commend you for coming out there and not really showing any rust.
Well, it's interesting because people constantly are asking me to go out to dinner with them before the show, and it's like, no, it's impossible.
That's not happening.
No, there's no dinner.
How am I supposed to do that? Like, I don't even have time to take the Uber from the venue to wherever you want to get dinner, this special place. And I love the fact that people are like, come out to dinner and la la la. And I love that. I love to go out to eat with these people. But everybody has no idea how much stuff that we do day of show and how many hours.
Well, and the VIP too. I mean, the VIP set changes everything because that's dinner time. That puts a huge amount of work right into the middle of the night.
Yeah, by the time the show starts, you're like 6-7 hours into your workday.
Yeah, I look at the show as the show to me is the end of the workday, or at least the beginning of the second set. To me is like, all right, I'm done. Let's just play some guitar and hang out for a little while. That's how I look at it.
So let's go show by show through the first 4 nights of the tour, starting with Terminal West, Atlanta. Atlanta, obviously a town the Biscuits have great history in. And look at this set list. I'd love to talk about, before we talk about specific jams, the set list and how it differs from the way in which Coach Joey envisioned it originally. Because, I mean, absolutely no complaints. A 4-song first set, a 3-song second set is catnip for Biscuits fans, and the way that you pulled this one off. But there was a lot more in the set list as written. And I'd love to hear, Joey, if you could walk us through what you had in mind, and then we can talk a little bit about what actually came out on stage.
Well, I don't think I ever have, I don't think it's about me having like an agenda. Honestly, all my goal is to get the band to help do some of the heavy lifting, right? Because all the different band members all the band members have their things that they want out of the set, and the fans have their things that they want out of the set, right? So you've got a 30-year anniversary. The fans want to hear some bust outs. There's a lot of great songs that haven't been played in a while. I love World is Spinning. I've been trying to get World is Spinning back on the set for a while. I thought the band practiced it. Why not open with World is Spinning, right? The world's going crazy right now anyways. It seems fitting. The band hasn't been back. The world is still spinning. Like, what better way to play a song that people want to hear, and the band's going to just knock out of the park. I was watching the stream for that one. I saw Barb's. You looked a little like happy to be singing that song. I thought when you came out and started singing, you kind of had a little smile on your face. Like, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but my take was like, you look like you felt good singing that song again for the first time in a while.
Yeah, I always like that song. It's a good song. We're singing it well, and the lyrics of that song just make me laugh. So I have like a good memories of when I wrote that song. It makes me laugh about like back in like 2001 or 2002 when we wrote that one.
And people were saying when we did the Wheel of Forgotten Songs, oh, World is Spinning should have been on there. And I was like, next time. I thought we had a long time before we were going to hear World is Spinning again. And according to Biscuits Internet Project, it's been since 2021, 247 shows since the last performance. Sounded great. Your voices sounded great. You take a break after that. You go right into the sequence of Crickets, Dino Baby, I'm In. And just like, what a statement of purpose for this tour, for this band, the 30th anniversary, to come out and just crush that sequence.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that from the second Crickets jam through, it was pretty much gas all the way. The first I'm In jam especially was, I think, sort of the first time maybe we were hearing some of the new sounds really like hit hard in that first I'm In jam. And I think it caught everybody maybe a little bit by surprise in a good way that was watching on the stream. And so I thought that was really cool to me. I hadn't really heard them, now like you can't really hear those on like when you guys are practicing on bar play. I don't think you were using them where you can't really hear them. But so I was like, man, I knew, this sounds really good. So that's really that. Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know, Barb's, what you have to say about that, but I thought that was pretty top notch.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of cool jams. There was 2 brand new guitar sounds that are like synth sounds that led to really cool jams. And, it felt like that. I feel like it's easy to play this kind of like 7-song set first show back. And so it's a good time to get it in there because nobody's played in a while and everybody just wants to be patient and get on stage and pick up their old groove again. So I feel like that's how this show gets created. When I listened to the show, I was surprised at how long the jams were. I really was. And I was surprised how many different places they went.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's no better example of that than the Boop Jam that starts out the second set. It has like 3 or 4 distinct segments in it. There's a dub segment. There's a segment where Magner starts playing the theme song to Dallas, the 1980s primetime soap opera. Barber, you and Magner lock in on a nice West LA fadeaway jam at one point. It keeps going and going and going until you get into that infectious Under Your Spell groove.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, the new section of Under Your Spell, we've talked about the evolution of this song. We dedicated a whole whole episode to the evolution of this song. But Under Your Spell now, that new section is just so beautiful and it fits so perfectly into the mix. It gives the song like it just like brings the entire thing together.
And that section of the song was the original, I got to do this next. And then in the back of my mind, I was like, I haven't gotten to that part yet. And then the whole other song happened. And the whole time in the back of my head, I'm like, I got to get to that one part. So yeah, it works out great. And those changes are good. Those just kind of changes we're looking for. They're normal changes, but they're different. And we love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Max. What were you going to say?
No, Joey, I was going to kind of move us along. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think and I've told a couple of people this, but last year, Andy Bazzani ranked every show of the whole year. And I read through that, and I'm not going to say that. I mean, God bless him, right? I could never do anything like that. It's a hard thing to do. But I generally think that 6 jams, it seems like we talk about this a lot this tour, John, but 6 jams is a good goal in a set. So for instance, and I think originally the second set was 2 sandwiches. I think it was Boop, Under Your Spell, Boop, and then Stop, and then 42, Taurus 42. And then the band can opt to cut anything out, right, if they run out of time and play it later. So, I think this ended up being really first Boop Jam, middle of Under Your Spell 2, 3 in the middle. There's this is really like a 4 jam set in the second set. So that's on the low end of like where you want 4 to 6 jams in a set is kind of the sweet spot, I think, of biscuiting. Mark likes to have 5 songs on the set list regardless, so the band has a place to go with the option to cut one. So, I think if you look at most of the sets in 2025, they're falling in that 4 to 6 jam range. And I think that's really the sweet spot that gives the band enough space to do what they need to do. You get a couple 30-minute jams, probably a show, 1 or 2 30-minute jams a show in that format. So, I think you'll see a lot more of that.
Well, my favorite part of the whole show, maybe my favorite part of the whole weekend, happened in the 42. You guys went places in this jam that were really exciting and unexpected.
So this is one of my new RF
Yeah.
risers.
What would we call this?
I don't know. I don't know what it's called.
So I would have originally thought that that would have been Magner playing that line.
I think Magner's playing the like, oh,
But you're doing
Yeah.
like an
the,
opera singer.
but they're weaving around each other so perfectly.
Yeah.
That's my favorite kind of sample. You know, I think that's the best use of the samples, is those sort of ethereal sort of voice sounds.
Yeah, it does sound like the Prophet. Got great toe in that keyboard.
John, Mark Sullivan wants to know, are you looping this or playing it straight?
I'm playing it straight. I don't really loop anything live. I don't know. I play my line, whatever it is. But there is a whole like arpeggiation to the click that's underneath what we're doing that keeps it in time with everybody. So there's stuff going on, but it's not really a loop. If I want it to continue, I have to keep re-triggering it.
And that's something you're doing with the fractal?
Yeah, this is one of the new fractal sounds.
That's so cool. And you're just getting to learn this thing right now.
I like that drum. I like that little E-drum, that little drum thing Alan just like.
Yeah,
That was cool.
yeah, it's getting good.
These are the sorts of sounds we'd like to hear in the tractor beam.
It's tractor beam's gonna be a lot of this. But electronic drums, which to me is awesome.
Now, Joey, I know a lot of times when you listen, your ear is trained to try to pick up on little sections with changes that you might be able to write to. This is so tight too. This is so out there. Have you ever thought about like how you take something that's this loose and exploratory, or do you just let it be?
I don't think too much about it. Honestly, usually just like if I hear a melody in my head over something I'm listening to, I hear it. Sometimes the really, really cool sounding arpeggiated stuff sounds great in a jam, but isn't the best to write over. But that doesn't mean you couldn't do it.
And then this is my new disco funk sound. It's a little bit more of like a 1970s guitar funk than my normal guitar funk.
Well, this feels like you guys are all heading in the intended direction, which was tourists.
That's right. Like I thought for sure they were going to play Taurus.
We ran out of
Must have
time,
just-
I think.
Yeah. But it ended up being cool because it played into the jam really nicely as like a tease.
Yeah, I like this, like the double time hat. When Alan's on the double time hat, I feel feel like the jams always roll. They have a certain roll to them when the double time hat's there. I feel like it's super funky.
Brownstein's playing some great bass too. I mean, props there.
So we're right there.
Now, did you call it off on stage, or did you guys just go there and were like, we don't have enough time, or did somebody go to the talkback and say we don't have time for it right now?
Mark went to the talkback mic and was like, we have 5 minutes to play this song, so we got to play it fast. And then I went to the talkback mic and was like, let's not do that. It's just too much. Let's just jam. You know what I mean? It's just tough because you want to fit the song, and like I wanted to do Tourists, and
I think that's a great decision.
Yeah, but
it makes sense though, because if you run out of time on Tourists, you can't really end the set on Tourists.
Yeah, where are you then? Yeah,
you can end the set on 42. So
that is the problem. Is you still have to do 42 after Tourists, kind of. You know, I guess, but
or else you just kind of peter out at the end of a Tourists. But
well, Tourists has an ending. Joey would love to tell you about that. Tourists has a great ending.
It has an ending. It's not really a set. It's not. It's got an ending, but it doesn't. It's not like a set ender, really.
Yeah,
it could be. I mean, any song could end in a set, but 42 is a set ender.
Yeah,
and it's the first night of the tour, and you can live to fight another day.
And you know, we got a great comment.
I remember
from Jeff Ferks. Why stop this? You know, you can just sit in this sort of tourist mode without playing Tourists and still end on the triumphant 42. But you're getting sort of the vibe of a Tourists here without having to commit to the song.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is like I was on my new disco funk sound, and I was like, why do I want to do all this stuff right now? This is the first time that I have an authentic disco funk guitar tone going. Like, let's do this, you know? And so that's why I was kind of like, let's stick here. Magner's got a very legitimate sound right now. This
I remember
right
like Brownstein goes into like he gets into like a slap. He starts slapping the bass a little bit, almost like a half slap. It was really cool. It's coming up here pretty soon, I think.
Might fade us down here just so we have time, because we have so many other jams I want to get us to.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Atlanta,
it was an epic 42.
Yeah, that was a 42 for the ages. So from Atlanta you head right to Charlotte the next night. A lot of highlights in that show. Hold on a second. Allow me to bring up the set list so we can review. Okay. So first of all, you sound check Tantalize, so everybody's already buzzing about that. Now that first set, ladies, trapdoor scars, finally get our tourists, ladies. A lot of excitement in that segment between the trapdoor and the scars. And Joey and I were talking, and this is only our second performance of Scars, so it seems like appropriate for us to listen to it, check in on how Scars is evolving, how you're feeling about your newest tune, John.
It's great. I love singing it. Yeah, let's check it out.
John, did Magner put in the real sample, or is this still the AI rip sample of the first version of the song?
It's still the riff.
That's what I thought so.
I was over 2.5 months, but I didn't have enough time to put it on a hard drive and email it to Mag.
Because I could hear at the end of the sample, you go, oh, it has like a oh.
Yeah. I mean, he can cut that off. He just won't for some reason.
I know.
Provide a little additional context.
Well, when we made the song, I used an actual sample for the vocal, and then we made a demo, and then Aaron had the demo, and when we decided to play the song, it wasn't because it went through the normal process of us learning a song. Everybody in the band heard the demo, and they were like, oh, let's play it tonight. And I was like, wait a second. I'm just sending it to you, like we have to work on it. They're like, oh, let's play it tonight. So Aaron used his system and ripped the vocal sample out of the demo with this like AI system that he has, and we're still using that, which is fine for Tractor Beat, but I think I can get him the real sample. But it's
and
on my
if you
studio.
listen really closely, at the very end of it, you can hear oh what, because he cut it at like just a millisecond late. I can hear it every time. I'm sure you'll be able to hear it. Now you all will. Yeah, we should have hit the sample right there. The sample should have come in right there.
No, it doesn't come in there. It doesn't come until halfway here.
Make us wait for it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, he can hit it there if you want him to, but...
Well, because it's the call and response with the I wish I had a moment to cry. Because it's supposed to be like, yeah, he's here,
Yeah, I gotta check the demo. I don't think it's there, but maybe it is. I think Magner wants
there.
us to specifically tell him where to put it. He's done playing around with it everywhere, and now he just wants to know where it goes.
I like this comment. This would go in a movie montage where the character is working through hard times and coming out on top. feels really comfortable for you guys. Bobby's comment, I think, underscores that. It feels like you are just in the zone when you're playing this one, even the first time. Is that, are we projecting, or is it just a song that you guys feel naturally inclined to play?
Is this really the second time?
Joey?
Wow.
You played it once at sound check, so once in Huntington at sound check, and twice to the crowd, so 3 times to the band on stage. I mean, let's be honest, it's not, we didn't reinvent the wheel with this song. It's not like it's super crazy hard to play. Like, I mean, you know, I know like there's people out there that love the really complex compositions, but there's something about just writing something that's not hard but plays the band's sweet spot and really lets them like feel the emotion of the song, and they can blast off from it in a great jam, and you know, everybody can just play great stuff because they're not trying to, you know, it's not super complicated. It's a pretty, this chord progression is pretty comfortable for the Biscuits. Biscuits play this chord progression in their jams quite often. You know, if you listen to the I think it's the Helicopters dribble from Chicago at Dahlia Hall, you'll notice some similarities in that jam to the changes in this song. We wrote the song, like we kind of rewrote, you know, the song's very different, but the original lyrics of this song were written over those changes, so some of those changes made it into this song. So it's got that biscuity feel to it.
Structurally, that did not come out right. Structurally, are there any parts of Scars of the Brave that you still are working on, or do you feel comfortable with how it exists right now?
I think it's pretty much good to go. I just want us to get, I want the timing to get better. I think the chorus timing is a little, I don't think we've been precise with like banging, you know, like here's where the sample comes in, here's where the chorus drops, here's what we do right as the chorus drops. Like I think there could be a little bit more tension released there a little bit, like right at the chorus. But I think structurally the song, I don't think the lyrics need to change. I don't think it needs like any more parts to it or anything like that. I just think cleaning up some of the timing to make it like get the most punch is like the last step probably. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I don't really have too many issues with it. Lyric wise.
Agree Boots, that is a great launch into the jam, and Mark is doing a bass line that I heard him doing a lot last fall. I feel like I associate this bass line with the Westport show from last fall. John, I feel like you're cycling through the effects right now, looking for the right sound.
Yeah, it seems like trying to find something comfortable. So this is like so. What Mark's doing is so crazy. I'm trying to figure out how to fit into that groove. What sounds I can do that with. And everything I find is like dry guitar, dry guitar. Yeah. Like I should just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to the funk. Going back to funk. I'll probably
John,
go
do you
to
know?
That'd be my guess.
Do you know if you were playing the Gibson here or the Bureau?
I think I'm playing the Gibson at this point, yeah. Oh no, what show is this? This is yeah, this might be the Gibson.
This is Neighborhood Theater in Charlotte. You have the Gibson out in Atlanta for the second set as well.
I played the Gibson in Atlanta, and I'm playing the Gibson most nights at this point.
You're back.
I like it.
We do too.
I do too. Double like it. Triple like it.
Let's go to the chat. Do you like the Gibson? We don't have to wear it, so we just have to listen to it. So we like it.
We're gonna start, John. I think it's time to find a lighter Gibson as guitar number 2.
I found it.
Let's go.
What's that?
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it.
I'm going to bring it out next week.
What is it?
It's basically a Gibson.
Is it the one that you were loaned by one of our listeners?
Yeah. Stephen Lewis from Kleckner Appliances. Buddy, yes. They both came over to hang out one day. And Jess had this guitar, and he was like, why don't you play this fucking thing? And I was like, I don't know, leave it here. Because I needed a guitar. I was like, why do you leave it here? I just threw it out there as like just a thing. And he was like, of course I'll leave it here. That'd be great. I'd love that. And so then I'm playing it just for fun. And I'm like, wow, this thing is a lot like the Gibson. And so I'm playing with my new guitar stuff, and I'm trying to make a new set of patches for tour. And I have this thing on my shoulder, and I'm playing it, and then tweaking and playing. And like an hour goes by, and I'm like, how is my shoulder not killing me? I've been holding up a Gibson style guitar for like an hour, and I was like, this is paper light. It's so light, it's crazy. So I think there's a future there for that bad boy, and it sounds really good, really good. You're gonna like it, Joey. You're gonna like it a lot.
Robert Janis with the controversial opinion, this is rock and roll aesthetics. We need money bags.
Money Bags is in my studio. I don't think it's ever gonna leave the studio. Sorry.
Heavy.
Money Bags is the biggest piece of wood that they've ever turned.
75 pounds, right around your neck.
So heavy. It's crazy.
I'm going to bring down Scars because we still got more jams, more shows to get through. But John, wouldn't this be a great time to do a live read?
Yeah, but I don't have my live read.
Okay.
We just skip it this week.
Well, we tried.
I forgot to do it. I was so trying to get up here in the hotel. I'll do it.
No,
next week.
don't worry about it. We're all good.
Yeah.
So from
This is
Charlotte.
way too late to do the live read, by the way.
It's-
Way too late.
It's late for the live read. But, you keep people around for what they want, which is the live read.
I know. I
You,
wonder, did anybody buy any appliances from Kleckner? Nobody's called me to ask for tickets, so I don't think I do support any appliances.
asking them to buy the $27 book is one thing. The $1,000 worth of appliances might be a little steep for are biscuits fans. It's tourist season. They've got to buy a lot of, there's a lot of balloons they have to buy. They've got to buy burritos in the parking lot. There's a lot of expenses piling up.
I mean, the problem is that you buy appliances when the ones that you have break, not when you want appliances. You know what I mean? Like I never want an appliance. I always want less appliances.
Yeah.
But then something breaks, like a microwave or something that you need. And then, so at that point, you go to Kleckner and you ask for Stephen Lewis and you say, let's do the appliance.
I think you just did the live read.
That's the read.
That's the read. Kleckner and Sons. Yeah. Ask for Steve. Spend $1,000. Get 2 biscuits tickets.
Yeah. See, we're doing it together now. We're timed up. We're synced.
We're synced. All right. So Asheville was next. We talked at the head of the show about how badly Asheville needed some biscuit shows. People have been through some really horrible times, and what better to bring everyone back together than 2 nights of the biscuits. And unfortunately, Mother Nature did not cooperate. So first things first, John, what was it like playing in that torrential downpour?
It didn't get to me. I'm on stage. I'm dry. It was weird because like all my stuff was shorting. My teleprompter was just like changing songs while I was going. So I couldn't use that. And my rig was like kind of shorting out. The Helix was in a puddle. And kudos to the Helix. It was fine, but it was literally in a puddle. So I was like afraid to use it a little bit. But if you listen to the show, I bet you can't hear any of it. That's what's crazy. It's like everything kind of worked, even though, it was a lot of water for 2 days straight. A lot of stuff going on.
Well, I heard from a lot of people who were there that it was actually fun. The people were kind of dancing in the puddles and the raindrops were interacting with Herm's lights and creating like a sparkly, glittery effect. It certainly didn't slow you guys down. Lots of exciting highlights during this show. The Who's in Charge Shelby Rose sequence in particular.
Awesome. That was one of my favorite moments of the whole tour so far.
Very good.
That just like when we sit in that like ultra world beat and Alan and Aaron like kind of go into that, we're going to be heavy with kind of organic instrument, rhythmic groove ideas. Oh God, I love that Biscuits. I love that. I could listen to that Biscuits all night long. I never need to leave that Biscuits.
And it's truly like one of the best parts about Who's in Charge. And it's a groove that you guys will get into in a lot of other contexts. There's that great Helicopters from Silver Spring, March 2024, where there's an extended period where Alan doing those E-drum bongos and those like hand drum sounds, and Magner playing almost like xylophones and stuff like that. But Who's in Charge really just like you live in that zone. It's like that crazy tribal rhythm. And then it goes into Shelby, which goes into Tantalize. So Brownstein bringing a song from Tractor Beam from is Tantalize an Electron song and a Conspirator song? Can somebody fill me in? Someone who knows more about this stuff than I do.
It's an Electron song, Max. Conspirator didn't have words.
Okay, so it is an Electron song. Brownstein debuts it with the Biscuits, ends the set with To Be Continued. The segment that I plucked out to listen to, however, is from the open of the second set, and it is that transition between The Deal and Munchkin Invasion. This was a very exciting jam to me.
Drum and bass. The last couple into Munchkins kind of had that sort of waves sort of vibe to them, and they were really good, but this was completely different, almost sounded like it was going into a Highland and Higher, or In the End We Have Forever or something like that, and then just slammed into Munchkin from the drum and bass, and it was really cool. True that, Stevie. Really nice breakdown to very, very simple, pretty little thing here.
Well, I think I realized I was doing the wrong thing in the jam. I was like, wait a second. Is this Munchkin jam? Should I be doing this and going into Munchkins?
That was cool. Was that a key change right there?
Yeah, just a quick one.
So how did the band all know to change keys right there?
I think it's because I stopped playing the guitar that I was playing. And I looked at everybody, I was like, oh, what are we doing right now? And they were like, Munchkins. And I was like, okay. I don't know if this is the key for Munchkins. And then everybody was like, okay. And then we just popped up just like that. Just like bang.
It was seamless.
Was the rain impacting Magner's setup? I heard people saying that he was having some difficulty using the virus.
Shit, everything. Yeah, the virus wasn't working at all. Yeah, I think Alan's E-drums were broke. Like, it was messy up there. It was messy. You can't tell from the music. I don't.
There's some far out shit going on Magner in this jam.
And I'm wondering to what extent Magner, having the virus taken away one of his main instruments, he's now got to look at some other keyboards, look at some different sounds, and mix things up a little bit. John's going for it.
Is Brownie on the keyboard right now playing that?
Yeah, I guess it's a keyboard. I don't know. I can't tell.
It's not his normal, like, keyboard tone. There, it's getting a little deeper there.
Yeah.
That's got to be Mark and Magner.
I know that the last tour Mark was playing a different synthesizer. Is he back to the original mode, or is he still on the new?
He's on the new one.
Do you happen to know what it is, John?
I don't actually. I have no idea.
Alan is taking over. I thought we were gonna get a little bit of Leave Me Alone here.
Yeah.
Really rubbing Mark's baseline on this.
Yeah, it is probably closest to Leave Me Alone than any of the other drum and bass songs, right?
This is just such a great way to get into Munchkin.
Very
You're right,
different.
Joey. The standard for Munchkin for a while has been the kind of Waves peak, which I am never going to complain about. Think about that Fort Collins transition into Munchkin, where they were going back and forth between Munchkin and Waves. But this is really a fun way to change things up.
Is this still tracked as the deal, or is this tracked as Munchkin?
This is still tracked as the deal.
It's not accurate tracking. It's not accurate.
It's a very long. I mean, we're just over halfway into this little segment.
Do your
so
best. Do your best with the best.
I mean, Rich has always said that he tracks it when it's obvious. That I mean, I haven't heard Munchkin. I wouldn't know you're going into Munchkin. You could call it its own jam, but I agree with that tracking.
I mean, now we're starting to kind of bring in some of the Munchkin sounds, but the drum and bass is still covering their tracks. Yes.
Yeah, this is cool.
I think Dave Cook would agree that this would not be tracked as Munchkin yet. I'm not going to speak for Dave, but I just think that he would have not thought to track this as Munchkin.
But this is,
I could be wrong.
I think this is emblematic of that sort of show your hand jam. We've talked about this quite a bit on recent Pistons All Days, where the band kind of lets you know, we're going into Munchkin Invasion, but we're still going to take you on a 20-minute voyage, to get
Where
you
have they showed their hand? I haven't heard it. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they've showed their hand.
I feel like John is locked in at the very least to the guitar tone that he would play the beginning of Munchkin. And Magner is doing a few of the sort of synth sweeps.
All right. Everybody heard it but me. Just a noob. Doesn't know what he's fucking talking about.
Well, it's easy. It's easy for me because I'm the one who cut this little segment. So I just love when Alan takes charge on a jam like this, and his influence is what's making this such a unique transition.
Somebody on Fantasy Tour, like live, like listening to this live, would have called this Munchkin. That would have been an impressive call. I don't know. Like, I don't know if they did or not, but if somebody listening to this live called this, that's a good year for the disco biscuits, for sure.
Now I just took over after Magner's ARP, and now I'm on my ARP,
Yes.
so I can get out of the way, so Aaron can figure out a way to get us to Munchkins.
This is like some heavy-hitting disco biscuits right here, you know?
Yeah.
Rich. With your tone there, Barbara. I love it. You haven't lost me with it. Just not like over distorted, right where it needs to be. Just it's playing.
There's a lot of distortion on right now, but it fits. It fits
But
the vibe.
it's not screechy at all to me. I think it's still nice and in that sweet spot. Like you haven't lost me at all there. I thought that was the perfect tone for that style of playing.
And that right there, that fade out is right where Rich Steele tracked it. So
There it
fantastic
is.
show on Friday. We still have one more show to get through. So let's talk about the last night of the first weekend, Saturday in Ashland. Asheville, excuse me.
Ashland is in Oregon.
Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also the name of a golf clothing company or something.
Gross. Thanks. It's great.
No more
So-
golf jokes for me.
Both sets start out with
Seriously.
standalones that we haven't heard in a long time, Tunnel and Crystal Ball. John, how did it feel bringing those ones back?
I love those songs. It was great. I thought that both of them, they both were a little differently played. They both have a little bit of a fresh vibe to them. I like them. I thought it was good.
And for me, the highlights of this show were very distinct and stood out. Those were the wormhole in the first set and the dribble outro into Freeze in the second set. And not to in any way diminish the doorbell, the Buddha, the voices, but in particular,
I mean, the dribble was like 90 minutes long. The dribble was crazy. It's crazy.
But the
dribble got weird. I mean, the dribble got like really weird and like
it was not dribble. Like we forgot we were playing dribble.
Yes.
I think we looked at each other. We're like, "What song is this?"
it was cool though. I liked it. It was different. It was out there. And it was cool. But this wormhole was
the wormhole. This, I mean, right off the bat.
That's you, Barber, making that sound, or is that Magna?
I'm playing guitar. Like,
Yeah, you're playing the underneath.
yeah, that's Magna. I think that's the virus, though. The virus.
It's working again. He had to put it in a big bowl of rice overnight, and it worked the next day. This again, just throw this on at Bonnaroo for Tractor Beam and Electric Forest. This jam right here.
I think that's all. I think that's part of the plan. Honestly, I think that's already part of the plan for one of them. I don't know which one, but I think a wormhole type jam is in the plans for one of the Tractor Beam shows.
Bobby, I would love to hear an ape. I don't know if I cut this before the tease, but if you hear it in the section we're playing, call it out to us.
Little downshifter there.
Yeah, and I was the one playing the pad in there, so that synth pad was the guitar.
Really?
Yeah. I was wondering what that sounded like. I'm glad we got a chance to hear that part.
That was cool.
Now Magner's on the pad, and I'm on the clean guitar.
I mean, that was cool though, because Wagner was playing something real up in the mix. You're going to fight for that space with the guitar anyway. So laying the pad there, vibe it out, let Wagner have his moment, and then when he switches back to the pad, you take over. That's really good, aware, conscious jamming right there.
Yeah, I'm psyched to have a couple pad options because it really helps when you're playing techno dance music. Not having one guitar, to be able to do some other things.
Yeah, like those spots where sometimes you're like, you don't feel like you have the space to do what you want to do with your guitar, and you get a little lost, you start playing rhythm guitar, now you can go to a pad and get in there and like set the mood and layer on that shit. That would be really cool.
Joey, this is a good question for you.
Mentally and give you more options.
Joey, you want to tackle this question? And because I forget sometimes that this is not just a video podcast, I'll actually read it. When you map out a 2-night run, how much is planned? How much do you mess with the crowd that teases night 1 to allude to what's coming night 2? It feels like you're always messing with us.
I think very little of it's planned as far as teases and stuff like that. I think the set list, even will change a lot from night 1 to night 2. There's only so much planning, right? Like you go in it is a plan, but the plan changes, and I don't think the teasing and that might be the band. Yeah, very little of it's planned. They practice the compositions and maybe talk about some vibes or things they want to do, but
I will say that with teases, especially with the tease machine, the bridge machine and the tease machine, Aaron Magner, very often he will play a tease and not even know that he has played it. And afterwards I'll text him and I'll be like, oh wow, you played the theme song from Dallas, and he'll go,
so this is the eighth part that you're talking about, probably. It's getting into that zone.
I mean, look,
this is the boom part.
Most teases are by accident, I think. James Scott has an interesting question.
Yeah, it does sound like boom a little bit.
What can I do? There are totally different things the laptop synth can do that the modeler can't do. The modeler's closer, but it's not the same thing at all. And I think I might be bringing back the guitar synth in some capacity moving forward.
Okay, so this is the section Bobby was talking about, Amanda was talking about.
I mean, it definitely could go there for sure. I mean, 100% has that vibe, has that sound to it. I think it's more of I would say it's more of an 8/5 than it is actually 8/5.
I thought we were playing that No Doubt song. Feeling hella good, so you just keep on dancing.
We're playing all the songs.
I was like, are we going into a different take on that?
This is great. I love the comment section. Boots says, sounds like hella good. times free or by freeze. Nick is saying, I'd be calling ape to my friends. Dave's saying, I hear hella good too. Yeah, I can very easily hear this being like the peak of an ape jam. Or as Carl says, sexy back.
I gotta say, Inverted Miracles fucks, man. Inverted Miracles,
Always.
like, almost always crushes lately. Like, they just, the way they transition kind of that. Last couple Inverted Miracles have just been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jam into Miracles was really good, and I think one of the reasons that this jam is like kind of laid out and stretched out as it is because like what you can't see now is people were getting down in this part. Like, either you look out in the crowd, people you don't even recognize, you're like, who is that person? They were getting down during this, so it was like
I can see it.
Well, that's great to know that you're noticing and you're responding to that energy in the crowd. If you see people throwing down, what's the rush? No need to get to the next song. Let's give people some more time in this space.
And we do that all the time. I mean, that's why that Who's in Charge jam was so long, the Dribble jam, the Wormhole jam was so long. Because it's just like everybody in the whole place is getting down. Everybody, it's like you can't change at that point. Lean into the groove.
Yeah, this is so sick.
Alright, so now I'm playing the synth. That thing.
Oh.
And Magner's going. Now that's the helix inside of the fractal. Doesn't sound the same anymore. It sounds different. It sounds really more synthy. So I really like it.
We've scrambled everyone's brains. Every next comment is hella good, ape, bombs, miracles. You're playing 15 songs all at once. Whatever it is, it's dirty.
Yeah,
everybody's out there.
This is some good shit right here, boys.
In the rain, people whipping their heads around, pumping their fists.
Oh, it was hard for me to miss these. I love seeing the Biscuits in the Southeast. I love seeing the Biscuits in North Carolina. I love seeing the Biscuits in the rain. I'm not the only person that's soaking wet in the crowd. Everybody's wet.
The stigma goes
always
away.
look good. Everybody's always having fun. It was tough for me to miss these. I'm glad you guys crushed it.
Well, it's great we have the screams. Wow, I guess I
Great jam. That was
cut that one hard.
That one was,
it was a hard
immediately
cut.
over. Immediately over. But I was feeling that jam. I feel like we got a good listen in there.
Definitely. Well, John, first 4 shows of tour down, and already this is shaping up to be a good one. 30th anniversary tour, the band firing on all cylinders. Some big shows coming up. Tomorrow night, where you are right now, Raleigh. And then from there, the big one, Bonnaroo. Tractor Beam making their Bonnaroo debut.
It's going to be fairly fun. We have a lot of good stuff planned, so I'm feeling confident going into the Bonnaroo show.
Very, very good. And then from there down to the All Good Festival, Tim Walter, Merriweather Post Pavilion, big lineup, lots of bands. And then from there, the Westcott Theater up in Syracuse on June 17th. And then finally, Camp Home again, 2 nights. I've been looking at the schedule. I've been working with Dane, the tour manager, with Kaplan, the manager, with the crew on the program for both nights. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be just basically like 2 days for us to all just be together, chill out, be in a great town. unbelievable lineup of musicians joining the Biscuits throughout the weekend, fun activities planned. In the meantime, lots of streams. Stay tuned. Will be announced very soon. Lots of these shows are going to be video, and those that won't will, of course, be up on audio. And thanks to the Bisco radio crew for always making sure there's that backup mixler for when the feed goes down on Nugs. That is a lifesaver. But John, anything else you want to say? Oh, I know one thing we absolutely have to talk about before we wrap, and that is there are these amazing after parties throughout the tour that mostly Brownstein, but sometimes you are putting on. So what's going on with these after parties?
Mark has been spearheading the full Biscuit Head experience, and he is putting together show after show, post shows. He's DJing a lot of them. I'm DJing a lot of them. There's one show in Indianapolis where I'm going to be playing kind of like a drum and bass machine, and Magner is going to be going off on top of that. I don't know what it's going to end up to be, but it's probably going to be pretty sick. And we're just do a lot of cool, interesting twists on what the after show can be, but it's just a lot of beats and a lot of, electronic music and just the music that we love and it's play for people and stuff like that. So if you get a chance to check out an after show, after almost every single show, there's one at this point. And then I think there's a website that's up called Bisco After Show. And I think you can get tickets on that site that we put up. It's called biscuitsaftershow.com. Yeah, and you can go on there and you can see all the after shows that the band's playing. And, support. And Mark put a lot of work in here. So support DJ Brownie. Get out there, check out some shows. If you see a Baba G gig on there, come check it out. And it's going to be really fun. We're excited about it.
The party doesn't have to end. 30th anniversary tour. We're going all summer. Joey, I can't wait to see you, brother. So soon. John, can't wait to see you.
I'll see everybody out there, back out there in Bearsville. I'm looking forward to it. I can't believe I had to sit out these first couple shows, but life called. It's been a while. It's been a long break, but I'm ready to get back out there with you all. And John, great playing. The new sounds sound great. I'm excited to hear the new guitar on the next group of shows. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Sorry that Andy couldn't make it. Hopefully I filled in honorably.
Well, if we can't get a Frasco, we could definitely get a coach. So thank you for being available at the last minute, Joey. Thanks for everything you do for the band and the scene. John, thank you for taking time out and your night off to join everyone on Touchdowns All Day Live. We're going to try to keep these going throughout the tour. We'll see you about next week. I'm flying out very early on Tuesday, so we might have to just do a quickie next week, but we'll announce it on the socials. And in the meantime, everybody, thank you so much. We are building some critical mass on that YouTube channel. It's John and my goal for the second half of 2025 is to really get this YouTube popping off. Lots of great content, and we can't do it without you guys. We can't do it without you, Carl and HG and Amanda and Laura and Katie, and most of all, Teams Joey, Microsoft Teams Joey. If we wouldn't even do this if it weren't for him at this point. So thank you all.
It would be hard.
And we'll see you very soon. Some of you will see John tomorrow night. Some of you will see me and Joey in Bearsville, but we'll always be up on YouTube, Instagram. You know where to find us. Love you guys.
Knock 'em dead tomorrow night, John. Talk to you guys later.
See y'all. See you tomorrow in Raleigh.
Bye-bye.